Hi there, in this tutorial we will learn how to create a modern CV in Adobe Photoshop. Nowadays, when you are going to apply for a job vacancy, in that case you must have your CV or resume, but if you can create a modern style resume or CV, then it will be much better. So in this tutorial we will learn how to create a modern CV in Adobe Photoshop. So let's do that. At first we have to create a new document to create our modern CV, and therefore we have to click the file menu, and from there we have to click the new option. Here is the tab for creating our new document, and as you know, the standard size for paper width will be 8.5 inches and height will be 11 inches. So you just have to set this parameter for width and height, and resolution you should put 300 pixel per inches, and color mode will be RGB color. And please make sure the background color should be white, and then you just have to click OK. So this is our document, and at first we have to place a ruler from here. So here is the ruler option, here and here. So let's place a ruler. You just have to click on this point. You just have to drag and drop the ruler in here. This line will help us out to scale and measurement and place anything properly in this CV. So at first we have to draw a rectangle shape over here, and therefore we have to use the rectangle tools. So here is the rectangle tools. You just have to use this rectangle tools, and please make sure your fill color should not be green. We have to change the fill color. So here is the color option. You just have to click on here, and then here is the option for color picker. So we have to pick the color. So let's find some better color. We want to use Persian blue color. Okay, looks good. We will use this color, or you can use this code to your software. So let me click OK. And we will not use any stroke, so therefore we have to select this stroke option, and we will use this no stroke option. Okay, you can take a look. Okay, now we will draw a rectangle shape on here. Okay, here is the rectangle shape, but I want to change the color. I want to make some deep blue color. So you just have to click on this color option, color picker option. Okay, this one looks good. Let me click OK. Okay, now it really looks good. So right now I want to turn off the grid view. We will turn on it later, but right now for this time I want to turn off the grid view, and therefore you just have to click view menu, and from there you just have to click show option, and here is the grid option. So you just have to click this grid option, and you can take a look. The grid view is gone. Okay, so right now we will place the image, and therefore we have to draw a rounded shape. So therefore we have to use the ellipse tool. So let's use the ellipse tool. You will get the ellipse tool inside this rectangle tool. So you just have to right click with your mouse, and then you will get this ellipse tool. Okay, and for this round shape we will use a stroke. So therefore you just have to click on this stroke menu, and you have to select this white color. So here is the white color, and we will increase the pixel for stroke. Let's pick for 15 pixel. I think it's fine, but we don't want to use for this rectangle shape, so therefore we have to turn off for now. And once we draw the circle shape, then we will add the stroke. So let's draw this circle. Okay, so right now we will turn on the stroke from here. So let me pick the white color. Okay, looks good. And let's scale this circle properly. So therefore you just have to press Ctrl or Command T from your keyboard. Okay, and you just have to click this tick mark, and we will place an image. I mean the CV we are creating for whom, we will place the image of the person inside this round shape. So we will do that. So you just have to click this tick mark and let's place the image inside here. So therefore we have to open our exercise file. So therefore you just have to click file menu, and from there we will not use the open option, we will use this place embedded option. And inside our exercise file you will get this CV or resume design folder. You have to open this folder and you will get this Louis Unsplash image inside the CV or resume design folder. So you just have to click this image and then you have to click place. So let's scale it properly. We want to scale this image properly, and to scale it properly we want to reduce the opacity. It will help us out to scale this image properly. Okay, we will increase the opacity after scaling this image. So let's scale the image properly. In here we want to place his face inside the circle. Okay, now it looks good. So you can hit enter button from your keyboard or you can click on the tick mark. Okay, so now we will increase the opacity of this Louis Unsplash image. You just have to increase the opacity level to 100%. And right now we will create a clipping mask. So you just have to right click on this Louis Unsplash layer and then you will get this create clipping mask option. So you just have to select this create clipping mask option and you can take a look. This image is placed inside this round circle. Okay, cool. Now we will write the name of this person, and before that I want to convert this image and this ellipse layer into a smart object. So you just have to select both of these two layers. I'm pressing Ctrl button in my keyboard and then you just have to right click on here and then you just have to click this convert to smart object option. Okay, you can take a look. These two layers are converted into smart object, and let's scale it properly once again. So you just have to press Ctrl or Command T to make this image scale properly. Okay, now we will add one more ruler over here. So you just have to drag and drop the ruler on here and we will add another ruler on here, and we will write all the informations inside this ruler. So at first we have to write the name, and for this entire CV we will use a single font. We will not use so much font that will make complication to create this CV. So therefore we will use this single font, and let's use the type tool and let's select the font. Here is the type tool, and we will use this Franklin Gothic medium font. We will use this Franklin Gothic medium font, and if you don't have this font you don't have to worry about. Already I have given this Franklin Gothic medium font inside our exercise file. So let's write the name first, and therefore we have to zoom in the image. So let's zoom in. You have to press Ctrl or Command plus button from your keyboard, and let's write the name first. So we have to use the white color for our text color. and we will scale the font later. So let's write the name first. Let's write Steve Jones. Okay, Steve Jones, and let's increase the font size. You just have to use Ctrl and A button to select entire text, and then we will increase the font size. Let's place for 24 point. Okay, looks good. And here is the tick mark. We just have to click on this tick mark, and let's scale this text properly. So you just have to place Ctrl or Command T, and we will place this text. So let's place the name till to this two left and right ruler. And let's scale it properly. Okay, looks good. Here is the tick mark. So we just write the names, and right now we will type the designation of him, what type of expert he is. He is a graphics designer, so we will write the graphics designer, and therefore we have to use the same font, same style and same design. Just we will make the font size smaller. So let's put for 14 point. So oops, sorry, I just have to write the name first, and let's press Ctrl or Command Z to undo, and let me write the name here. So I want to write graphics designer. So graphics designer, so we have to select the entire text, and right now we will reduce the font size. Can we go for 14 point? Okay, looks good. And here is the tick mark, and we will scale it properly. Okay, name and title complete, and right now we will go for next word. So right now we will create the field for phone, email and address, and we will place this information inside the rectangle shape, and we will use the rounded rectangle shape, and we have to use the rounded rectangle shape. You just have to right click on this ellipse tool, and then you will get this rounded rectangle tool. So you just have to use it, and we will not use any fill color. So here is the no fill option, and we will use the stroke. So we will use a white stroke. Let's put for 3 pixel, and let's draw the shape first. Okay, so can we increase the stroke size a little bit more? Can we go for 5 pixel? Oh, now it looks better. Okay, so we have to add a text inside here, and therefore we have to use the type tool. So here is the type tool, and let's write phone. Let's write phone here, phone, phone, but we will not use this size. We will increase the font size, but at first we have to write the phone number. So let's write phone number 123 123 1234. Okay, so let's select this entire text, and let's set for 16 point. Okay, and you just have to click this tick mark, and let's scale it properly. So therefore we have to press Ctrl or Command T button, and let's scale it properly. Okay, now we will create the field for email. So you just have to copy these rounded rectangles. So you just have to press Ctrl or Command J to duplicate this rounded rectangle shape, and before that we have to rename these fields, because this rounded rectangle one layer used for a phone number, so therefore we have to rename the layer name so we can understand that which layer used for which purpose. So let's rename the layer names. You just have to double click on here and let me write phone shape, and let me rename this layer. You just have to double click on here and I want to write email shape. Okay, so you just have to press Ctrl or Command T from your keyboard, and let's place this second email shapes on here. Okay, looks good. So right now we will type the text in here, so therefore let's type the email here. Email info @skill4.com. Okay, so you just have to click this tick mark, and now we will scale this email address properly. So you just have to press Ctrl or Command T and we will scale this text properly on here. Okay, cool. And right now we have to duplicate this email shape once again, because we will use a field, we will create a field for address. So therefore you just have to press Ctrl or Command J button from your keyboard, and here is a new layer is created, it's duplicated. So you just have to rename these shapes. You just have to double click on here and let me write address shape. Okay, so let's place this address shape properly, and therefore you have to press Ctrl or Command T, and let's place it below the email shapes. But we have to make these shapes a little bit bigger, because address will take some more space to type. Okay, now it looks good. You just have to hit enter button from your keyboard, and now we will type the text in here. So let's type the text. Just write address road city zip. Okay, so let's click on this tick mark and we will scale this address properly inside this shapes. Okay, so let's click the tick mark, and right now we will convert this text layer and shape layer into smart object. So at first we have to select the phone text layer, and along with that we will select this phone shape. So you just have to press Ctrl button on your keyboard, and then you just have to select these two layers, and right now we will convert these two layers into smart objects. So you just have to right click on here, and then you just have to click convert to smart object option. Okay, so we will do the same things for email. So here is the email layers and here is the email shape. So you just have to select this both two layers, and then we have to right click on here, convert to smart object, address, and address, convert to smart object. Okay, so our phone number, email, and address part is complete, and right now we will do the next part. So right now we will add creative skills. So before adding the creative skills, let's make these things in a group. I want to put all this first part information in a group. So I think we have to rename this layer, so you just have to double click on here and let's write blue left bar. Okay, so let's select all the layers from this layer panel. And here is the group option. You just have to click on here and let's rename this group name. Let's write name and contact. Okay, so right now we will create a creative skills field, so therefore we have to type the creative skills on here, and let's use the type tool and let's write creative skill. And we have to increase the font size, so you just have to select into a text and let's pick the 18 point. Okay, 18 point, and you have to click this tick mark, and now we will place this creative skill properly, and therefore we have to scale it. So let's press Ctrl or Command T and let's scale this creative skill properly. You can take a look as we increase the size, and therefore the font size turned into 18 points. So for similar, if we create some similar field in next, then we will have to use 18 point. Okay, so at first we will create a field for graphics. So let's write graphics, but we will use 14 point for graphics field. Okay, let's write the field in here. Let me write graphics. Okay, and now we have to reduce the font size. Let's place for 14 point. Okay, graphics. So you just have to click this tick mark and let's scale it properly. So therefore we have to press Ctrl or Command T and let's scale these things properly. Okay, right now we will create a parameter in here, therefore we have to use the rectangle tools. So here is the rounded rectangle tools, but we have to use the rectangle tools, so therefore you just have to right click on here, then you will get this rectangle tools. So you just have to click on here and we will use the black color for fill color. So you just have to click on here. So let's click on this black color and we will not use any stroke. So therefore we have to click on here to no stroke, as because we will not use any stroke. So here is the no stroke option. So let's draw a rectangle shape first. Okay, and we have to increase the corner radius for each and every side for 25 pixel. Let's place for 25 pixel. Okay, so let's minimize the properties and let's scale it properly. So you have to press Ctrl or Command T and we will place it in here. Okay, so this is the parameter, and we have to add another rectangle shape inside this black rectangle shape, and let's do that. we will add another rectangle shape, and therefore we can only just copy this rectangle shape. So let's copy this. You just have to press Ctrl or Command J, and you can take a look. A new rectangle shape is copied. I mean, it's duplicated, and we have to change the fill color. So therefore you just have to double click on this thumbnail of duplicated layer. You just have to double click on this thumbnail, and we will pick the white color. So here is the white color, and let me click OK. Okay, right now we will scale it. So therefore we have to press Ctrl or Command T, and now we will reduce the size, and let me click Enter. So this is the parameter for your creative skill. So we just completed the graphics part, and now we will create another creative skill, that is UI design. So let's use the type tool, or you can just copy this graphics text, and therefore you have to use this move tool, and you just have to press Alt button from your keyboard, and then you just have to drag and drop in here. Okay, you can take a look, it's copied, and let's scale it properly. Let's reduce the gaps. Okay, so we have to rename this layer, but we will do that later. But before that we have to rename change the text. So therefore we have to use the type tool, and let's click on here, and we will change this text. We will write UI design. So therefore we have to select entire text. Let's write UI design, and then you can click this tick mark, or you can hit a Ctrl or Enter button from your keyboard. Okay, and we have to rename this layer, so it will help us later to scale or group these layers properly. So let's rename this layer for graphics parameter. So you just have to double click on here, and let me write graphics graphics bar, and we have to do the same things for here. You just have to double click on here. Let me write graphics bar 2. Okay, so we have to duplicate this layer for creating the parameter for UI design. So you just have to select these two layers, and then you have to duplicate this layer. So to duplicate, you have to press Ctrl or Command J button from your keyboard, and you can take a look. A new layer is created by duplicating the previous layers. So we have to place the parameter on here. So therefore we have to press Ctrl or Command T button from our keyboard, and let's place it down. Okay, so you just have to increase or decrease the parameter. That's depend on your skill level. So I think I have to reduce the UI design levels. Therefore we have to reduce this graphics bar 2 size, because this is the white part. So you just have to press Ctrl or Command T, and you can take a look. This part is selected, white part is selected, and let's reduce the size a little bit more, and here is the tick mark. Okay, so we have to rename this 2 layer. So let me change the name first for graphics bar copy. You just have to double click on here, and let me write UI design UI bar, and this is UI bar 2. Okay, right now we will add another creative skill, that is UX design. So we just have to copy this UI design once again. So therefore we have to use the move tool. You just have to press Alt button from your keyboard, and then you have to copy this. Okay, so let's change the text. So we have to use the type tool. We just have to click on here. Let's write UX design, and here is a tick mark. And we have to duplicate this layer once again. You just have to select this two layer, and let's press Ctrl or Command J from keyboard, and we have to scale it. So therefore you have to press Ctrl or Command T, and let's place this bar for UX design. Okay, so we have to rename these things. So you just have to change the layer name. I want to write UX bar, and this is the UX bar 2. So let's do that. Let's add two more creative skill, that is web and SEO. So we have to do the same things. Once again, we have to use the move tool. You have to press Alt button from your keyboard, and you have to copy this. And let's change the name. We have to change the name by using the type tool, and let's write web. And here is the tick mark. Let's scale it properly. And we have to duplicate this bar once again. You just have to select these two layers, and you just have to duplicate by pressing Ctrl and J button from your keyboard, and let's scale it by pressing Ctrl T button from my keyboard. Okay, and let's rename the layer names. You just have to rename this web bar and web bar 2. Okay, so we will add another creative skill. So here is the move tool. We have to use the move tool once again. You just have to press Alt button, and let's copy this. Okay, so we have to use the type tool, and let's change the text. Let me write SEO. Okay, so here is the tick mark, and let's copy the parameter once again. So we will copy this web bar once again, and we have to duplicate. So to duplicate, we have to press Ctrl or Command J, and you have to double click on here. We have to write the name, that is SEO bar and SEO bar 2. Okay, so you have to select this two layer, and then you have to press Ctrl or Command T to scale it properly. Okay, so our creative skill part is complete, and we have to move all this layer in a group. So therefore we have to select all these layers. Actually, we have to move these layers in a group because in this resume we have to create many more layers, and therefore we have to make groups that will help us to identify the part. So we have selected all the layers which we used in this creative skill, and after selecting all the layers, you just have to click on this group folder, and let me write the name for this group one. Let me write creative skill. Okay, right now we will create a software skill in here, and in that case we will copy this creative skills field. Therefore you just have to right click on here, and then you will get this duplicate group option. So you just have to click this duplicate group option, and we want to write software skill. Okay, and then we have to click OK, and you can take a look. A new group is created. I mean, it's duplicated from creative skill, and we have to scale it. So therefore you just have to press Ctrl or Command T, and let's pull it down in here. Okay, so let me press enter button from my keyboard. Okay, so right now we will change the fields. We just have to open this software skill group, and let's change the name. So at first we have to change the name for graphics. So where is the graphics layer? Here is the graphics layer. You just have to select this graphics layer, and you have to use this type tool to change the name. So we have to change the name here. So let's write the name. Let's write Photoshop, and here is the tick mark, and let's scale it properly. So you just have to press Ctrl or Command T, okay, you can take a look. It's renamed, and we have to change the name for creative skill. So we have to rename these things. We have to write software skill. So we have to select this creative skill text layer, and then using the type tool we have to change the name from here. So let's write software skill. Okay, so here's the tick mark. So here is the Photoshop parameter, and right now we will write the name for Illustrator. So therefore we have to select this UI design layer, and using the type tool we have to change the name. So let's change the name. Let's write Illustrator, and you have to hit this tick mark. Now we will add the Lightroom software skill. So therefore we have to select this UX design. You have to select this UX design layer from here, and then we will change the text from here. Let's write Lightroom. Okay, so let's hit the tick mark, and we have to change the name for these two things. We will write InDesign and Adobe Premiere Pro. So here is the web layer. Let's change the web. Let's write InDesign, and here is the tick mark, and we have to scale it properly. So therefore we have to press Ctrl or Command T, okay, and finally we will change the name for SEO. So we have to select this SEO layer, and let's change the name. Premiere Pro, and let's click this tick mark. Oh, unfortunately we have created a new text layer. In that case we can delete this SEO layer, and let me delete this SEO layer, and we will place this Premiere Pro, text in here, so we have to scale it. So therefore you just have to click on this layer and let's scale it properly. So therefore we have to press control or command T button from our keyboard. Okay, so our software skill part is complete, and before that we have to change the skill level, because we just copied from here, and we have to change the parameter, like illustrator part. If you were expert in illustrator part, in that case you have to increase the skill level. So therefore you have to select this UI bar 2. This is the selection for UI bar 2, I mean the white part. So you have to select this UI bar 2, and then you have to press Ctrl or Command T, and let's increase the level. Okay, so we have to change the name as well. So you just have to double click on here and let's write Illustrator, and let's change from here Illustrator bar 2, and this is the Photoshop bar. You just have to double click on here, this is the Photoshop bar, and this is the Photoshop bar 2. Okay, so let's change the name for Lightroom bar. So this is the Lightroom bar. You have to double click on here, let me copy this entire name, and you just have to press enter, and let's rename these things. So we want to increase the software skill level for Lightroom, so you just have to select this Lightroom bar 2, and you have to press Ctrl or Command button from your keyboard, and let's increase the skill level. Okay, so here is the tick mark, and now we will change the web bar. So this was the web bar, so we have to write InDesign bar, InDesign bar, and this is the InDesign bar 2. Okay, and finally we have to change the Premiere Pro bar. You just have to double click on here, Premiere Pro bar. Let me copy these things and let's change in here. Okay, so finally our software skill part is complete, and right now we will work with our next part. So right now we have to work with a certification part, and if you were a graphics designer, then you have to try to get certified from Adobe, or if you were a network engineer, then you have to get certified from CCNA, because if you want to submit your CV to any organization, the certification from CCNA or Adobe, that will be highly preferable. So let's create the certification part in here. So we have to minimize the software skill folder, and now we have to use the type tool, and let's write the certification in here. So let's write the certification, okay, and we will use the 18 point for our certification text size, and here is the tick mark, and let's scale it properly. Okay, now we will add a logo. Suppose you are Adobe certified, then you can place your logo on here, and therefore we have to click the file menu, and from there we have to click this place embedded option, and inside our CV resume design folder you will get this Adobe logo. You just have to select this Adobe logo and then you have to click place. So let's scale the logo properly. Okay, or if you want to add one more logo, that's depend on your certification, you can place in here. So let me show you. Suppose if you were a Microsoft certified, then you can place the logo of Microsoft in here. So let me show you. You just have to click file and you have to click place embedded option, and inside the CV resume design folder you will get this Microsoft certified logo, and you just have to click place, and let's scale it properly. Okay, looks good. Okay, and right now we will add two rectangle on this logo, then it will looks much better than before. So we have to use this rectangle tools, and let's draw a rectangle shape for here for this Adobe logo, and we have to use the white color. So here is the color option, we will use the white color. Okay, and let's place this rectangle one logo under the Adobe logo. Now it really looks really good, and we have to copy this layer. I mean, we have to duplicate this layer. You just have to press Ctrl or Command Z, and you have to scale it with Microsoft certified professional logo. So therefore let me press Ctrl or Command T, and let's place it down. Okay, looks much better. And let me change the layer name. So here is the layers. You have to change the layer name. You have to double click on here, and let me write Adobe logo white bar, and you have to rename this layer name. Let me write Microsoft logo white bar. Okay, so right now we have to make a group for this certification. So you just have to select all the layers. So let me select all the layers which we used for certification, and after selecting all the layers you have to click this group icon. So you just have to click on here, and let me rename this layer name. Let me write certification. Okay, so our left bar work is complete. We have placed the image, name, profession, phone number, email, addresses, creative skill, software skill, and the certification. And right now we will work with this part. So let's start working with this part.